Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Triple Threat Show. I am your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today is a beautiful Thursday, February 19th. A big day in the world of sports. We have a lot to look forward to and a lot to get into. We will cover everything you need to know on the Olympic ice. We will cover everything that you need to know from the world of basketball that is returning, and we will take a look at all of the major stories from around the world of sports. I couldn't do it alone today. To help me out, my friend and co-host Mehrab Fatemi is in the building. How are you doing today, Mehrab?
Doing pretty good, Jeremy. How are you today, brother?
I cannot complain. My voice feels like it's back, potentially. We will see how this lasts throughout the show. But we woke up feeling not sick this morning, and that
That's a
is
point.
the big story. There are lots of big stories around the world of sports, but I want to start off with the world of sports. Usually we save the Olympics for the end, but screw that. We're starting with them today. The hockey in the Olympics is here, and it delivered yesterday. Oh my God, did it deliver yesterday? Three of the four quarterfinals games for the men's side of the bracket went to overtime. The other one, a dominant blowout victory. The U.S. and Canada escaped. I thought Canada was going to lose when they went down to Czechia in the third period. Late, they're able to come back, survive a Sidney Crosby injury, which we still don't know how serious it is. John Cooper, the coach for Canada right now, said that he's not willing to rule out Sidney Crosby for the rest of the Olympics, but that doesn't sound like he's playing in the semifinal matchup against Finland. The U.S. advanced 2-1 against Sweden, the first time ever that they beat Sweden in the Olympics. They lost in 2006, and they had lost previously in the 1900s. Sweden, of course, a very good hockey team. That was not an easy game. You saw it 2-1, but that brought up all the concerns that we had with this hockey team, right? This team can struggle to score the puck. 2-1 with a team as good as that. You saw Connor Hellebuyck step up, which was huge. I was not convinced he was going to be able to do that. Top four teams still alive. Now we get a big battle coming up on the semifinals in a couple days, and we will get to those games in a second. But Mayrob, I would love to hear your thoughts on these hockey games that took place. Did you watch the U.S. game? You caught that overtime goal. What were your thoughts on the U.S. team?
I mean, flat out, the U.S. team got pretty bailed out by the play of Connor Hellebuyck throughout that game. I mean, he was playing on his head. The way he was playing goaltender. I started off this tournament kind of. You heard me. I was going after the U.S. goaltending. I thought it was going to be their Achilles heel in this tournament, like it had been in previous tournaments. But Connor Hellebuyck stepping up when you needed him to be. The box scores don't show it. I mean, he only had 29 saves, but if you watch that game, especially that third period, the way he was defending the net, he was everywhere. That defensive line, the defensive line was kind of lackluster to say the best, especially in that third period. It was all Hellebuyck keeping him in that game. Um, I mean, Sweden getting that extra offensive man, pulling the goalie with 2 minutes left to play. The second they pull that goalie, Nylander zips a pass over to the forward. I don't remember his name. I think it's Zanishev, and just puts it right in the back corner, right behind Hellebuyck. I thought it was gonna flip. I thought it completely flipped the game over. I thought Sweden was gonna. I thought it was a gut punch to the U.S. But for them to come out only 4 minutes, 5 minutes into the overtime in a 3-on-3 overtime game, for Quinn Hughes to put one in the back of the net when they desperately needed it. I mean, that U.S. team showed, especially their youth, showed why they're still one of the better teams in the world. Show why they can just turn it on whenever they want. And granted, it's whatever they want, but it's not consistent. But they can do it. They can put goals in the back of the net. They have a good enough offensive skill to get it done. Now, I say that because we saw what happened in the Canada Czechia game. I mean, David Pastrnak gave Canada pretty much everything they could handle and more. This was the rematch from the group stage. Czechia got embarrassed in their first game against Canada, the first game of the tournament. They come out blazing hot and get it done. Now, Sidney Crosby's injury is going to be something to watch, but for Mitch Marner to play the game that he had, the game-winning goal that he had, literally went 1v4 with against the defense and the goalie, went tic-tac-toe, put it right in the back of the net. I mean, that Canada team is still head to toe head to toe the best team in the world. They deserve the props. They deserve all the credit in the world. Him and um, Macklin Celebrini deserve all the credit because they held up that team, especially without Crosby on the ice. But I mean, Canada. We're gonna get Canada versus Switzerland coming up tomorrow, as well as the U.S. going up against Slovakia. And also, if you guys didn't know, Sweden actually beat Slovakia in the group stage. So you might say that the U.S. got the harder break in the quarterfinal than they are going to get in the semifinal. We'll see how that actually plays out because Slovakia also put 6 goals on Germany in the quarterfinal. So they're a high scoring team. It's going to be a really fun matchup on both sides. I expect Canada to get it done against Switzerland. U.S. should get it done against Slovakia. And we're going to see a really fun gold medal game on Sunday, bright and early, 8 a.m. Sunday morning.
Yeah, bright and early for real on Sunday morning. A lot to look forward to with these Olympic hockey games. You had talked about the other quarterfinal games real quick. It wasn't just the U.S. and Canada. I know that's our focus here. You talked about Slovakia 6-2 over Germany, a dominant win for them. They now take on the U.S. in the quarterfinals. And Finland took care of business against Switzerland in overtime, 3-2. The hero over there, Adam Ekman Larson, for a current NHL player. Switzerland has been kind of a surprise this tournament. Now, obviously, their tournament chances are done now, but you do see 3 of the 4 from the Four Nations Cup reach the finale. The only one that didn't, Sweden, who just lost to the U.S. in the finals. I'm not overlooking anyone. I really am not. All of these teams are elite, but I will say we did see a similar tournament last time, and Canada and the U.S. matched up. No Quinn Hughes in that one. Also goes to overtime. That might be the difference. But the U.S. needs offense, and they need it in the worst possible way. I cannot feel comfortable about this team in any game against good competition if they cannot score the puck. And I know they have guys. I do. Jack Eichel is out there. You've got Quinn Hughes, who was the hero. Brock, excuse me, Brock Nelson, who's been really, really good for them this tournament, has been everywhere. But the reason we're not the 1 seed right now is because we couldn't put up points against the teams that we were supposed to be, because we couldn't put up goals against the Germanys of the world, against the Switzerlands of the world, right? We couldn't put up those points like Canada was, putting up 10 goals in their games, 11 goals in their games, that goal differential, giving them that next extra little boost that they needed to get to that next level. Of course, Sidney Crosby injury is concerning, but the men's side of the bracket advances to the semifinals. We will get to them later on in the week. But here is the kicker, Mayrob. The women's ice hockey gold medal game today, about to puck drop in a couple of hours. That is the main event for the Olympics tonight at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Canada takes on this U.S. team when they faced each other in the first round, or in the knockout stages, I should say, the preliminary stages. The U.S. wins 5-0. Absolute domination from this U.S. team. To add some intrigue, there's a couple of rumors floating around, Mayrob, that a couple, one on each side of this matchup, previously was dating, now not dating here. Something to keep an eye on, a little extra flame, but arguably the best player in the world, one of the best women's players of all time, Sarah Poulin, for Canada, did not play the first time that they matched up in these Olympics. She is expected to suit up and go for Canada. How big of a difference do you expect that to be? Because some people are calling this U.S. team the greatest women's hockey team to ever be put together.
Hello? I think I lost you for a second, Jeremy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. What were you saying?
What are your thoughts on this women's hockey game? There's a lot of interesting storylines going into it. One of the best hockey players in the world is on Canada's team. She was not there for the first matchup. How much of a difference is that going to make?
I mean, it's gonna make some bit of a difference. I mean, she's a forward. She's gonna play a great deal. She's gonna be able to put the puck in the net, especially since their last time they played when the U.S. dominated 5-0. But at the end of the day, this is gonna be about Canada being able to stop that U.S. scoring. It's gonna come down to that. This is a U.S. women's team that's literally outscored teams 31-1 in Milan. That is how much of a beatdown that they're putting on the opposing players. It is not close throughout these playoffs. You got throughout this tournament. You got Layla Edwards and Carolyn Harvey combined for 16 points. Combined for 16 points. You got the entire United States team has just been on an absolute tear in Italy. I expect them to continue to do so. I'm not counting Canada out because I mean they still have a great team, but without their captain, I just don't I don't. I know they were missing her, especially with a right knee. She was missing with a right knee injury. That's going to be a big time deal. But I still don't see it. I don't see it going Canada's way. I see the U.S. getting their revenge from their last time out in the 2022 Olympics, and I expect them to get it done and capture the gold medal.
What's your score prediction here?
Score predictions 3-2 in favor of the U.S.
All right, I like it. I'm gonna go 4-1. I think the U.S. they 5-0 domination the way they did in that first round. I don't think adding one player, even if it is one of the best players in women's hockey history, is going to make that much of a difference where it ends up being that close. She could score a goal or two, but I think that the U.S. takes care of this pretty handily with the way they've been dismantling everybody. The way they've got. Did you know they've got the longest shutout streak in the history of the Olympics by minutes of game action? They've shut out in two straight games and a couple periods. They've been insane, lights out on defense and the goaltending area, and the offense to boot is right there. So I'm taking this U.S. team 4-1 to dominate, advance to the next round. There is a lot more Olympics to talk about, and we will go around the Olympics coming up here in a second. We'll be right back here on the Triple Threat Show. Welcome back to the Triple Threat Show. I am your host, Jeremy Ramirez. Today is a beautiful Wednesday. It's a Thursday, February 19th. If you're just tuning in, we just finished talking about Olympic hockey. We got one more thought on that because Mayrob came to me with a flaming hot take that we cannot let go off the air before we finish up here. And then we'll continue our chatter for the Olympics before moving back to the American side of the world and take a look at the sports stories from there. But to help me out with this, I'm going to just throw this right to you. The big story, the big hot take that you've got surrounding this hockey team right now. What did you say to me? I want the audience to hear this because it was just absolutely insane.
I feel like it's not that crazy.
Crazy.
It's not that crazy.
What'd you say?
All I said was, first off, for everybody that's watching, I said, first off, we said Switzerland is going off to square off against Canada. I'm sorry, I put that in Jeremy's brain. I don't know where that came from in my brain. I completely forgot Finland existed. And when you look at this Finland roster, top to bottom, if there's a team that can go out there, I'm telling you, they could. This is a team. I wouldn't be shocked if this team goes out there and wins the whole thing. Let me go flat out and say that first. But to go to what Jeremy was saying, I said without Sidney Crosby, this Finland team is going to go out there and beat Canada. Go beat Canada tomorrow. I know, that's crazy. But when you look at this team from top to bottom, Mikko Rantanen, Sebastian Aho, you have Teuvo Teravainen, you have Anton Lundell. From top to bottom, this team is unbelievable. I like this team's chances against literally anybody, especially a team like Canada that's reeling right now. We saw Canada almost lose yesterday against Czechia. They're going to when you see, like what I said, the U.S. had a tougher test in the quarterfinal. They're going up against Slovakia now. It should be an easier one. Imagine that flipped. Canada's going to have a tougher opponent in Finland, a much deeper opponent, a team that knows a team that's been in these types of situations. I'm telling you, I'm rolling with the Finns to go out there and beat Canada on this one. I'm serious. I really am.
You're insane. You say look at the Finnish roster. I'm going to list you a couple names that are on this Canadian roster. How about Connor McDavid? How about the star guy who's averaging maybe 3 points a game in these Olympics, Macklin Celebrini? How about Cale Makar, the best defenseman on the planet? How about the reigning MVP in Nathan MacKinnon? How about, I don't know, Sidney Crosby and Tom Wilson? Brandon Hagel, Sam Bennett? I can keep going. This Canada team is stacked. There is not a team that can touch this one on the planet right now.
Then why did Czechia almost beat them yesterday?
That is because Czechia played out of their minds. They were shocking that game was that close. That's why it made headlines.
Hey, there's no way that's all you got, bro.
I'm serious. That game would not have been that close. I bet if you looked at the lines, Canada was favored by 2.5 goals.
Probably, but it was still 3-2 with 7 minutes to play until Canada tied it up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how it looked like then. All that matters is where it ended up, right? Canada goes out and wins that game. Look, I think losing Sidney Crosby took a blow to them. It doesn't matter. They came out and they bounced back and they won that game. But my point is, Sidney Crosby, you lose him, he's the 5th best player on that team. That is how good this Canada team is. He's the 5th best player on this team.
Jeremy, I'm telling you now, Finland is going to go out there and beat Canada tomorrow. And you will come back here.
I'll wager anything that Canada wins this game.
Anybody that is watching on TikTok and on YouTube, Canada is losing tomorrow. I'm sorry, Canadians. Losing Sidney Crosby is your Achilles heel. He's the Energizer Bunny on that team. He's the leader on that team on the ice when the coach. Even with the coach on the bench when they do timeouts, Sidney Crosby is the experienced guy that's been here throughout the entire process. He's the oldest guy, the most experienced guy. He won a Stanley Cup. This guy, him not being on the ice is going to be the Achilles heel for this team, and I'm rolling with Finland to get it done. Finland is a better roster, has a better all-around team than Czechia. Czechia took Canada to the brink without Crosby. It's still gonna be close. I'm not saying they're gonna get blown out or anything, but Finland is going to go out there and beat Canada tomorrow.
You're crazy. I'm gonna see if I can get my hockey expert on the line here. Give you a little verbal lashing. He might be in class right now, but we will see what's going on with him later on. It's time to move on to the rest of the Olympics, though, because we got to put back behind what a crazy and insanely wrong take this guy is talking about right now with this Canadian Olympic team not being by far the best on the planet. Get out of here with all that. Ooh, 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 hockey expert here. Shane, Shane Brisland is here. We're live on the air right now doing some triple threat show action. Uh, I have, I need you to
Listen,
hear this
you
take
got it
one
on the
more
phone.
time for me, and I need you to respond. We got May Rob,
What's up, Shane?
coming in with some more crazy hockey takes here. He says, you know what he said to me? He said
You want me to
that
say it?
Canada is going to lose to Finland. Uh, in the semis tomorrow. He also said uh, that. What else did you say? Tell him straight from the horse's mouth.
What I said, all I said was Finland had a better roster than Czechia, and Czechia took Canada to the brink yesterday. And with that, especially not having Crosby on the ice tomorrow, will be a big deal for Canada. And Finland's going to go out there and take advantage of that, put the pressure on Canada, not let them get that goal in the waning few minutes of the game that pretty much resurrected the team yesterday. And they're going to go out there and win that game. It could go into overtime, and I'm still picking Finland to get it done in overtime.
What do you think? He's crazy for that? What do you mean it's not a crazy take?
Thank you, Shane. Shane's got my back. Shane's got my back.
Crazy, crazy. All right, Shane.
I can't even really hear him.
Okay. You heard it here first. I guess I'm out of line here. Thank you, Shane. You can catch Shane on the Crease podcast uh, later on when we record those once a month. I've been humbled here. This is why he's the hockey expert. We love Shane here. I still stand by what I said.
Finland's gonna go out there and beat Canada. But let's keep going. Let's move on. We got some stuff going
There's
on in the
more
American League.
Olympics going on today, Rob. Lots of Olympic action to take a look at. Of course, we already talked about the women's hockey that will be taking on that will be happening later on today. The U.S. currently sits third in the medal count behind Italy and Norway. That has stayed the same. This team right now, curling is where it's at. Curling, U.S. is taking on Switzerland. The women's team is right now. Later on, the men's curling team will continue. Excuse me, they've been eliminated. I apologize. The men's curling team played their last game yesterday as the women's curling team looks to finish off strong with a win against Switzerland, currently up 2-1 before the preliminaries kick off later on tomorrow. Figure skating, the women's single final is today at 1 p.m. We have ice hockey, currently Sweden and Switzerland playing in the bronze medal game. They are tied at 0 as we continue that action. Again, women's ice hockey, 1:10 p.m. Eastern time. The Nordic combined, we saw the team sprint Norway once again finish at the top. Finland second and Austria in third place. The ski mountaineering competition, the first time that's ever been held in the Olympics, the first ever champion from Spain. Congratulations to Oral Cardona Cole. He wins the first ever ski mountaineering championship on the men's side. And congratulations to Switzerland's Marianne Fatten, who came out and won the in the ski mountaineering for the women's side. They go up and then they go down, climb up a huge mountain in skis. Shout out, that's a very, very tough sport. First time ever in the Olympics. And the last big thing today, kicking off in an hour or so, the men's 1500-meter final for speed skating. Lots of good stuff in the Olympics. The U.S. looks to catch Italy sooner rather than later, as there are only now 4 more days, if you include today, in the Olympics. But the Olympics are not the only thing going on around the world of sports, as the NBA kicks back off tomorrow. Mayrob, the NBA, the tip-off is every single team, I believe, playing on Thursday after a week off of the All-Star break. Talk to me a little bit about these teams, because we are in the final stretch now, the final stretch of the NBA season post All-Star break. Now it's time to lock in. Now it's time to show what you're made of, which teams can climb to the top, which teams, Mayrob, that are not currently in top 6 position in their conference, do you think can make a run to that spot, and who, if anyone, would they kick out here? What are your thoughts on these not quite playoff teams making a push in the final stretch?
If I had to pick one team out of each conference, I'm gonna start off with the Western Conference. I'm gonna say the Phoenix Suns. I think they're good enough offensively that when they're firing on all cylinders, they can take out a team like the Lakers. They can even take out a team like the Rockets, honestly. Two teams that are really sputtering on offense, teams that are really inconsistent offensively. I think a team like the Phoenix Suns can go out there and beat a team like that. That's just a personal take of mine. I think that could be crazy, but I'm not saying they're going to go out there and beat the Thunder or the Spurs or the T Wolves. I think the T Wolves, Spurs, Nuggets, and Thunder are the creme de la creme of the Western Conference. They're the top 4 teams. But I think the Suns can go out there and knock a couple teams out like the Lakers and the Rockets. That's just my take in the West. In the East, I think we have the same take here, Jeremy. It's hard not to say this team. It's the Charlotte Hornets, a team that has been on absolute fire for the last 2 months. They get a week-long break. Now, will that be an issue for them coming back? We'll have to see if that's going to put a break in their momentum swing. But this is a team that's 9-1 in their last 10. I don't know exactly what it is, but they're on a crazy hot streak with wins over the Warriors, the Cavs, the Thunder, the Spurs, the Rockets. They almost beat the Pistons. This is a team that plays really physical. They're really fast paced. I think they can beat pretty much anybody outside of the top 3. The top 3 being the Pistons, Celtics, and Knicks. And I wouldn't even put it past them for them to beat one of those 3 teams. I think they're up there with that top 3. They're probably the fourth, if not the 5th best team in the Eastern Conference. The only other team maybe I put above them is the Cavs. But this is a really good Hornets team. I expect them to climb into the top 6 and knock one of those teams out, being the Sixers, the Raptors, the Magic, or the Heat. You pick your name, you pick your poison. They're going to knock somebody out. This team is going to be out of the play-in tournament, or at the very least, be hosting the 2 play-in tournament games come April.
Yeah, I'm on the exact same page as you when it comes to that. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are a fascinating team, and I know they're in that top 6 right now, but the addition of James Harden, and you know what? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. With James Harden, when he goes to a new destination, sure, you can say that. I'm being fooled again, Mayrob, and am I a fool for being fooled for James Harden once again entering a new home, this time with Cleveland?
You're being fooled by the master foolsman being James Harden.
I'm being fooled. Should I feel fooled, or is this valid this time?
Nope. Nope. No, I'm not. I personally am not doing it again. I gave him his last chance at the Clippers. I saw a change in his game in the regular season. I thought he was going to be like that in the postseason. I battled with everybody saying that he was going to be different this time. And what did he do in a game 6 and a game 7 last season against the Mavs? Or I don't remember exactly. I remember he just had 2 terrible games in the postseason, and they ended up losing that series. I'm not buying it again personally. I think the Cavs are really good, but I think once again, James Harden is going to be their Achilles heel come playoff time, especially with Donovan Mitchell getting doubled. Unless Donovan Mitchell can continue to play the way he has been in the regular season in the playoffs, which we've seen in the playoffs has been their issue with him being the primary ball handler, getting double teamed, and then just having nobody else to kick out to. It's tough to see with a guy like Donovan Mitchell with the level of talent that he has, but unfortunately, it's just the state of the Cavs right now. They're not the greatest team in terms of depth. It's just Donovan Mitchell in terms of offensively, Donovan Mitchell, and more Donovan Mitchell.
Well, they make a couple big trades. They trade for, of course, James Harden. They move off of Hunter and they get Keon Ellis to come off the bench as well as another piece from the Kings. This team, look, I'm going to eat the apple. I'm going to bite into that poison apple one more time of James Harden. I don't think it's the lack of Donovan Mitchell being able to perform. I think it's the fact that he's been hurt. The Cavs have been hurt in the playoffs. Like last year, he was hurt for a while. You had Evan Mobley who was dealing with injuries, Darius Garland who was dealing with injuries. Now you have a healthy James Harden. You've got a healthy Donovan Mitchell, knock on wood. You've got hopefully soon a healthy Evan Mobley who's getting added to that rotation. Defensive Player of the Year reigning Devin Mobley. But you also have Jarrett Allen down there who went for 40 a couple nights ago, right? This is a guy that if you keep feeding him, run that pick and roll with James Harden, that's a dangerous four, a very dangerous four. You have a guy that you can rely on for scoring and another guy you can rely on for scoring defense when they're healthy. And I think that bench, you're not giving them enough credit, right? I really like the moves that they made at the deadline to fill in not just around the star pieces, but around the edges as well. You get Dennis Schroeder from the Kings, who in a pinch could be a guy that goes for 30 points if you really need him to. Sam Merrill and Jalen Tyson playing really good basketball. You've got Dean Wade as well on this team, Keon Ellis. This team goes 7 or 8 deep right now. There's enough guys out there that I would feel comfortable playing in a playoff game that I'm not worried about the depth on this team. Even got in a pinch Tomas Bryant, who is a guy that I really like. Now, he's not going to play any real minutes. He's not that guy. But I do think that there are some reasons to believe in a team like the Cavs moving forward. I'm fully bought in, and I will be ready when the bullet comes to bite it and just deal with the bed that I've put myself in of believing in James Harden one more time. But I am all in on the Hornets. I truly do believe they're going to make up that 4.5 game mark to get to the top 6 seed. The Heat are flailing. The Magic are without Franz Wagner for the rest of the season with some more issues with his ankle. I think they probably replace the Raptors. I know the Raptors are good. They're playing really good basketball, but I think this Hornets team is going to be able to step up and take their place, and I like this Sixers team a lot. Maybe they replace the Sixers, but I'm leaning towards Raptors falling into the play-in and the Charlotte Hornets going to the playoffs here.
Not a crazy take. I think, like I said, I think the Hornets can overtake anybody outside of that top 4. And honestly, I wouldn't even put it past them to be really competitive at the tail end of the season and give somebody in the top 4 a run for their money. If the Celtics fall off, if they get injured, I think they're an injury away from oblivion, honestly, from one of their top 3 guys being Derek White, Jaylen Brown, or Peyton Pritchard. Crazy. I'm saying Peyton Pritchard is the top 3 guy on this team. If any of them get injured, I would be really worried about the Celtics team. And like we said, if Donovan Mitchell gets hurt, if James Harden starts reverting back to his old ways, this is a Hornets team that can compete with anybody in the Eastern Conference. They gave the Pistons a run for their money as well. They can compete with anybody. And I wouldn't put it past them to be I think they have a chance against anybody right now.
What about Jason Tatum? We've talked about this a little bit. What are his chances of returning this season, and when do you think that happens?
Yeah, to put me on this. I
brought
brought
up spot here.
I talked about
Celtics, okay.
he pitched me a curveball. Okay. When we're looking at Jason Tatum right now, I mean, I understand what everybody's saying. Even he said it himself. I don't want to be the guy that throws the chemistry of this team off, and as well as I don't want to rush myself back from injury. But at the same time, we are hearing reports that he's coming back from G League. He's entering G League play, practicing with the G League team. He's bouncing back and forth from G League play to regular Celtics practice play, playing 5-on-5s. He's not limited in practice either. They're keeping him. They're not keeping him, and they're not putting him in full practices, but they're not limiting him either. They're giving him selective sessions with the 5-on-5. But he is playing 5-on-5 with the rest of the team. A lot of reports have said that he could be coming back March 1st, with the game against the Sixers being flexed from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on primetime on NBC. Um, do I buy it? I think I need to see it to get a definitive date as to when it's going to happen. But with everything that I'm seeing, it's hard for me not to say that Jason Tatum is not coming back at some point. I expect him to be back sometime in March. What is it going to be at the beginning of March? I think it's going to be closer to midway in March, personally, midway to late March. But I understand if they bring him back early because I did say at the beginning when this whole thing started, they should bring him back in March, at the beginning of March. They should bring him back and give him time to get ready for the season. I just think they haven't given anything really definitive. They've gone back and forth, sometimes saying I don't think Jason Tatum's coming back, and then saying, oh, Jason Tatum is going back into G League. He's practicing. He's gearing up for a full season.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I think I'm close to being bought into this, to Jason Tatum being back for the Celtics, and if he's back, I'm s- I'm ready to say, Jeremy, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference when he's healthy, with Jalen Brown and the rest of the team in order, with Nikola Vucevic as well and the rest of the team. This team is the best team in the Eastern Conference with Jason Tatum on the floor.
I'm on the same page as you. I really am. I completely agree.
There are no reasons not to think that this Celtics team, who's already a top 3 seed in the East, is not going to be the, you know, best team in the East when you add, what do you think, top 5 player in the NBA? That's a whole nother conversation. He's somewhere
Yes.
around there.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Definitive yes. Okay.
Yes.
I'd have to make a list. He's 5 at most. But I could see it. Very good player. You add him to that mix along with an MVP level Jalen Brown. There's a lot of storylines to look forward to as the NBA continues to roll. We will keep you in the know. Lots of stuff. We return with our final segment of the Triple Threat Show. Coming up next, the NFL has lots of questions as they enter into their off-season window. I've got one for you, Mayrob. Who, if anyone, could be the next Sam Darnold to come from obscurity and win a Super Bowl? We'll be right back on the Triple Threat Show. Welcome back to the Triple Threat Show. I am your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today is a beautiful, beautiful Thursday, February 19th. We have a lot to get to today, a lot to continue. If you're just tuning in, make sure that you find us everywhere on the internet. Anywhere you get your podcast, that's Audible, that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also find us on YouTube at Triple Threat Show, Twitch at 3 Threat Show, Instagram at 3 Threat Show _, and on TikTok at _, Triple Threat Show. I am your host, Jeremy Lapidus, joined today by my friend and co-host, Mehrab Fatemi. We close out our show with a simple question, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments as well. Who, Mehrab, is the next Sam Darnold? We saw Sam Darnold go from rags to riches in the NFL, from a bust to a Super Bowl champion. Who is the next guy that could fit that mold?
That can be Sam Darnold. Now, I have two guys in name. I have two guys in my mind that can be the next Sam Darnold right now. There's there was one guy I was thinking of that's just completely slipping my mind. Right? Oh, wait, no, I remember who it was. The first guy, there's two names that are coming to mind. One that's kind of crazy and then one that's really crazy. So buckle up. The first one I have is Bo Nix. Now, Bo Nix is kind of the guy that comes to everybody's mind outside of Jeremy because he's the biggest Bo Nix hater on planet Earth. Bo Nix is honestly the definition of being really he's
Bo
kind
Nix
of
should not be in this conversation. Like throw out my hater attitude from Bo Nix. Throw it out. Get it out the window. I'm not having that conversation right now. Bo Nix is nowhere close to being at the stage where Sam Darnold was when he was thrown out of the Jets and the Panthers and a backup on the 49ers. He's a bona fide starter in this league. He is a top 20 quarterback in this league. He's in the same tier of quarterbacks as Sam Darnold is. He can't be the next Sam Darnold when he's already on par with Sam Darnold.
Is that what we're qualifying? A guy that's been cast off and then a guy that can come back?
Yeah.
Then my answer is kind of nobody, honestly, because I don't see anybody being like that in this year. The only other guy that I had in mind was Fernando Mendoza, being able to turn around the Raiders organization and really being able to be a really good game manager with Clint Kubiak at the helm. Funny enough, it is Clint Kubiak that's going to be the head coach, so that's a big reason why I say that. And the rest of the offense, with how loaded they are offensively, they should be better than they really are offensively, right? Than what they showed this past season. I think Fernando Mendoza and Bo Nix are my Sam Darnolds of next season. That can
All right,
really
so we
go
took this question in a very different way. So let me give you some of my answers, and I'd love to hear what you think. I got two big ones for you. First one that I got, Kyler Murray could be the next Sam Darnold. Look, I understand you don't like Kyler Murray, but let's take a look at these comparisons. They were both drafted top 3 in their class. Kyler Murray goes 1, Sam Darnold goes 3. They were both cast off by their original team. Kyler Murray, TB cast off, to be casted off. He's Taco, to be casted off next. That is coming for him. But he still has all the talent in the world. He just needs the right coaching staff, the right talent around him. We've seen him be successful in the past. Kyler Murray could be the next Sam Darnold.
Sorry, I was looking for a pillow. I couldn't find it. I was snoring. I was sleeping. I was snoring. Jeremy, please stop with the Kyler Murray. Please stop. You and Nolan. I wish Nolan would be ganging up on me too for sleeping on that take. But Kyler Murray, I've seen playing in his division has shown me how, yes, at the beginning of his career, he was a good quarterback. He can throw the ball, but he was broken. He was broken. If you really wanted to,
And that's what makes him a prime candidate, Mehrab. He was broken. You can't tell me Sam Darnold wasn't broken with the Jets. He got fixed.
That's just the Jets break everything. Then in that case, if you want to put another Sam Darnold, the next Sam Darnold in this conversation, and you were probably gonna throw out this name, would probably be Mac Jones.
Mac Jones is a good answer. Not the name I was going to throw out. I think Mac Jones is a very good answer to throw into this conversation.
Mac Jones, especially with how he played without Brock Purdy on the field this year.
Yeah, he's absolutely the candidate. The other name I was going to throw out there was Malik Willis, which is along the same lines.
Another name I like that one.
He obviously got cast out of his first stop in Tennessee, and he's balled out with the Packers. I think he gets an opportunity to start this year, and I think Malik Willis is the guy that I think if I had to put money on it, there's not going to be a Sam Darnold next year. Let's just get that out of the way. This is not a story that happens every single year, right? This is not a normal thing, which is why this is a conversation. But if there's a guy that's going to turn it around, I think Malik Willis is the one that's ready to do it right away.
I like it. I like it a lot. Now, I don't like that you said that he's going to get starting opportunities with the Packers because I think
Jordan Love with the Packers. He's a free agent, so I think some other team will sign him.
Yeah, and we still have about a month away from free agency to start, so that's going to be fun to see. He's going to get a big time deal from somebody, as long as he doesn't go to the Jets or the Browns or some other pathetic franchise that doesn't deserve a quarterback of his caliber. Maybe he goes to the Dolphins. Even the Dolphins, I would like to see him there versus somewhere like the Jets. I think he's a guy that can do some things. I actually really like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of places to go. I think the Dolphins are probably the front runners, but the Jets second. And I mean, that would be just a big mistake. You don't want to go to the Jets right now. You don't want to go there. Not if you don't have to. Lots of options out there. Mac Jones, I like. But let us know what you think in the comments. Which one of those three is the most likely to be the next Sam Darnold? What? What's this look for? What's that look for? You might have froze. We'll keep it moving. Mayrob might have crashed on us here. The very, very, very confused look on his face that he crashed on us. So very interesting. He gave us quite the stare. I think something I said might have crashed his computer with the look that he was giving us.
That might have crashed your computer.
Nah.
Something you said might have crashed your computer.
You were frozen like this.
You were frozen like. But you said three guys. Who was your third guy?
Three guys. Mac Jones. Your guy.
I said Mac.
Yeah, you said Mac Jones. Three guys.
Then who was your third guy?
I didn't have a third guy. I only had two.
Oh, that's good.
There are three guys that could be the next Sam Darnold. Let me know what you guys think they are. Which one you think is going to be the next Sam Darnold in the chat. Mac Jones. Mac Jones, Malik Willis, or Kyler Murray. I'd love to hear your thoughts there. But thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Triple Threat Show. We have been your hosts, Jeremy Lapidus and Mayrob Fatemi. We will be back tomorrow covering all the biggest Olympic action, keeping you up to date with the NBA, college basketball, and everything that you need to know from around the world of sports. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Go U.S. women's hockey.